Hello, welcome to the Leigh Times online. I'm going to tell you about some of the main stories we're covering in our March 9th Leigh and Westcliff edition. In a moment you'll hear from Independent Southend Councillor Martin Terry, who's written our Political Viewpoint article for this edition entitled A Good Budget and a Recovery Plan. You'll hear from celebrity journalist Lisa Marks, who spoke to me about a fantastic writing competition we're officially launching in this edition, aimed at secondary school pupils. Lisa recently published a memoir about her career covering the entertainment industry in the UK and Hollywood. More about that shortly. Finally, you'll hear from a 10-year-old superhero who's on a mission to save pangolins by picking up litter in Leigh. But first, our front page story. The tragic murder of 18-year-old Luke Bellfield from Leigh. Mr. Bellfield was assaulted in an alleyway near the Peterboat pub in Old Leigh and was taken to hospital by two people at around 6 p.m. on Friday, February 26. He sadly died a short time after being admitted. Police have arrested and released a number of people and are continuing to investigate. They're keen to hear from anyone with information that could help their investigation. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help raise money towards Luke's funeral costs, and at the time of writing, 186 donations had already raised more than £4,700. You can find more details on our website, leigh-times.co.uk, or just Google GoFundMe page set up for Old Leigh murder victim. Now, Councillor Martin Terry has written our regular Political Viewpoint article for this edition, so I asked him to give me a brief outline of what he had to say.
Okay, I felt it was necessary. I do occasionally do the article in the Leigh Times on the Political Viewpoint. I felt it was very appropriate to announce what we've done with the budget, which is an exciting budget. It's an investing budget. We've been able to do this because unlike many other local authorities around the country which are going bankrupt, Southend is in a very sound, stable position financially, and we feel it's right as we're coming out of the pandemic that we need to invest to help the town go forward.
Okay, and you had particular focus on the Southend Pass, didn't you? What's that about?
Southend Pass, we're the first local authority in the country to have done this. We've introduced a pass which will enable local residents to acquire the pass, and they can pay for it on direct debit. If they don't have to do it, if they choose to do it, it'll enable local residents to use all the facilities around the borough and park for up to 3 hours in any one of 4 zones for up to 3 hours for 28 pence a day. If you decide you want to, so for example, if you thought it's a lovely day, I'm going to go to the seafront, and you want to stay for more than 3 hours, which you would get included in the pass, you can add that on the Mobon app, and it actually is far less than the current rates. If you stayed for 5 or 6 hours, you'd be saving against the current rates about £5 or £6. The idea of it, I mean, we want to help local businesses, and so for example, having the pass, you haven't got to handle or worry about having to sort out paying for your parking. You've got your car registration is registered on the system, and we think it will encourage footfall back to our retail as well in the areas. You know, for all the council car parks are included.
Brilliant. That's probably enough for me. Unless there's a particular thing that you would like to say, then I think I've got a good snapshot of what your article's about.
Yeah, I would just like to say that one of the key features, if you like, the thoughts behind the Southend Pass is we've had decades of underinvestment in our footways in particular and our highways in the town. The pass will also enable us. We have increased charges for day trippers on the seafront, but then we do get 7 million visitors a year, and they all use our roads and facilities. Pass will enable us to invest. We've set a target of £10 million per year for the next 5 years. Reinstating our footways. We're getting many people falling over, many local residents being hurt, foot tripping over, and that sort of thing. This pass, the whole scheme together, although it's saving money for local residents, it will enable us to invest a lot of money into our highways and footways.
All right. What sort of time period will that, until people see the benefits of that?
We start immediately. So We're going to spend £10 million this year on footways and
Right.
highways. So that we've got a plan. I don't have the plan in front of me, but particular roads have been picked out, and that people will start to see that progressing. It's the biggest investment we've made in highways for decades.
Thank you very much, Martin. The Leigh Times has launched a writing competition in collaboration with celebrity journalist Lisa Marks. The full story is on page 20, but I spoke to Lisa during the week to find out a little bit more.
Okay, well, obviously my career started at the Leigh Times, which was my first week's work experience ever. It was a long time ago now, and I ended up doing my training on the Echo and moved on to do magazines in London, and from there working on women's magazines and teen magazines. I ended up in Los Angeles covering the entertainment industry for The Guardian and Telegraph, Australian Telegraph, and Marie Claire, Red, Grazia. And when I got back to the UK, I ended up doing some more celebrity journalism, which was really good. So I went from A-listers to reality TV stars. So it was from sort of, you know, Cameron Diaz and Charlize Theron and Hugh Jackman to Joey Essex and Gemma Collins. So it was a kind of different, it was a bit of a switcheroo in terms of, you know, who I was interviewing, but most of the lessons stay the same for both, which is good. And I'm just interested in people, so I'll sit and interview anybody if anybody wants me to. And at the moment I'm doing some editing and some writing for some of the women's weeklies, and I'm also doing a lot of lecturing at the moment. So I'm running the Practical magazine module at the University of Gloucester, which I've been doing online since the beginning of term. And thankfully, come 2 weeks' time, I'll be back on campus when the rules change, which is going to be really nice to meet my students in person. Yeah. And I also do lecturing for various other universities, including Oxford Brookes, Birmingham, Sheffield. I've just literally this morning got off Zoom to Cardiff University, which was really good. And tomorrow I'm speaking, I think, to Northampton. So I like to sort of put as much out there as I can. And that's one of the reasons that I wrote my book, Ryan is Ready for You Now, which was to take everything I've learned in 30 years of doing this job about interviewing celebrities, which makes up a large percentage of my work, and really just write down everything that's happened to me along the way, but also try and impart some knowledge so that if anybody else is interested in doing that job, they've got some tools at hand and maybe get some insight into how best to approach the job and what to do in any particular situation, such as being at a press conference or a one-to-one interview or red carpet or even a phone or Zoom interview. So that's really what I've been doing, and I published that in lockdown. So lockdown gave me the chance to actually put that book out. So I'm grateful for that time.
Right, so obviously we've got together to launch this competition, writing competition. It was your idea. What do you want to achieve with it, and what are you hoping to get out of it for the competition entrants and obviously yourself? What do you hope to see?
So the reason that I thought it would be a good idea is because how to spread the word. And at the moment, we're living in a very strange time where I think journalism has taken a little bit of a hit in terms of its reputation. And, most journalists, in fact, all journalists I know, the ones I know, are very sort of fine, upstanding people who, do good jobs and work really hard, and we don't get paid enough. I think you'll agree with that. And, sometimes work in very difficult circumstances. And I feel like, if we're looking at the next generation, we need good journalists out there. We need kids who are growing up now to be interested in the job and to want to have that passion to do a good job. And also, they've got to be able to work in a world now that is very different from, say, the one that I did my training in, certainly worked in, because of the way news is now delivered and, how content is delivered and how we access our news and our features. And I just feel like it, especially during lockdown, I just thought this would be a really nice opportunity for me to be able to maybe just give something back in a way and pass on some of my knowledge, and also just see what's out there in terms of, you know, talent, which I'm sure we've got lots of talented kids out there. You know, really looking forward to reading their entries and you know, hearing their opinions on things and looking at the angles that they take with everything, because their world of celebrity is actually very different to my world of celebrity. You know, for them now, their celebrities are influencers and gamers and, you know, certainly, you know, TikTok stars and all these things that, you know, I barely understand. But, you know, this is a whole ecosystem, and this is, you know, this is how they access their content. So it's a whole different world. But I just feel that within that, some of the lessons that we can learn, that you know, some of the rules that I've learned and my style, and, you know, just in terms of how to do a good interview and how to get a good interview, would be very much the same. So that's why I approached the Leigh Times, and also just because, you know, it gave me my first week start such a long time ago now, but it was really key to my career, and I just thought this would just be a really nice way of giving something back. And hopefully, you know, when we pick our winner, they can sit on Zoom with the way we're doing now and pick my brains. And then, you know, if they really want a career in media, you know, I can hopefully advise them, give them some pointers. And, you know, if they're really serious, I know a lot of people, and maybe, you know, I can introduce them to people in the industry if that's the way they want to go.
Right, so Lisa, hopefully I'll be speaking to you again soon. Any last words?
Yeah, let's say. Well, no, thanks, Mark. It's been a really, really nice chat. I'm really looking forward to reading the entries. I'm excited as to what we're going to get. And, you know, I hopefully, you know, when we next talk, we'll be able to maybe sort of talk about some of the entries that we've received. And hopefully, you know, I'm looking for some really good ideas, and just be authentic, be yourself, be curious, and good luck to anyone who's entering. And hopefully we can see you soon.
Thank you, Lisa. Finally, a 10-year-old called Curtis Redgewell is on a mission to clean up Leigh's streets and raise money to save pangolins, an endangered species, anteaters as they're more commonly known. I spoke to Curtis, his twin brother Connor, and their mum Caroline to find out what they've been doing.
So what I've been doing the last week is that I've been litter picking around the town and the beach. So when I just go on regular walks, I usually find a good spot to litter pick, and then the next time I go on a walk, we usually bring the litter pickers and pick up the litter.
Right, and you found a way to make money doing that, haven't you?
At the moment, I'm on. So what my goal is £3,600 to save 100 pangolins, and at the moment I am on £600 with 16 pangolins saved.
How did you manage to make the £600 you've got so far?
So the reason we're at £600 is because some people around town and my family have given us money to raise to save the pangolins.
Why are you so interested in pangolins?
They're my favourite animal, and I don't want them to go.
How did you find out they were in trouble?
Well, like 2 years ago, there was this document about them, and I felt really sorry for them. So I decided. So 2 years, present day, I just decided that it should stop. So.
And Connor, you've been out picking litter up as well, I hear.
Yeah. So me and my little brother are helping Curtis pick up Tam because we're trying to support him, and we also want the pangolins to be saved.
So can you just remind me how much money you're trying to make, please?
It was originally supposed to be 180, and then we decided, Curtis decided. I hit 180 in 1 day, so decided to up the game. Every time we go down a street, we have this map. So every time we go down a street, we usually highlight it so that we know we've done that, so we can go on to a different street that we haven't done yet. So we don't forget what streets we've done every time we go out.
Well, I guess it keeps you very fit as well, does it?
I think our mum does the most of it, because when we get too tired, she just carries it like this. All three of them just like this.
Yes, they start off enthusiastic, but when it gets heavy, I have to take over.
Hello, Caroline. So I guess you've already done a fair bit to promote Curtis's campaign. Is that right?
I'm on a Facebook group, Leigh Residents group, and I just thought, because he's collecting rubbish locally, you know, I just put a message up saying, if anyone, you know, wants to help him, here's his Just Giving page. And the response has been quite overwhelming. He's had so many donations from complete strangers.
At least 50.
Yeah, he's had a lot from the local community.
63 supporters.
And it's been quite overwhelming, really. How many people have sort of said, keep going, Curtis, and you're doing a great job. And so, you know, thanks for keeping Leigh clean. It's really not, and it's nice that you're doing that, as well as obviously trying to save these little animals in the process. As, you know,
that we have fun, and we have raised quite a bit of money.
Yeah, just if people want to help, please keep giving to Curtis's Just Giving page, and he'll keep picking up later.
Thank you all very much. It's lovely to meet you. Okay, that's it for this little video podcast. Don't forget to keep an eye on the Leigh Times website, leigh-times.co.uk. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now, of course, on YouTube. If you've got a local story, please let us know about it. You can email me at editor@leigh-times.co.uk, and I'll be very happy to hear from you. Thank you for watching.